Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Speak More Fluently.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into something that can be like a real roadblock,
Oh, yeah.
when you're trying to become fluent,
Right.
and that is speaking anxiety.
Absolutely.
So we'll explore, what causes it,
Yeah.
why it's so important to overcome it,
Mm-hmm.
and most importantly, we're going to try to give you some practical strategies
Right.
to help you become a more confident speaker.
For sure.
So if you've ever felt that, nervous flutter in your stomach before a conversation,
Oh, yeah.
or you just wish you could speak up more freely,
Mm-hmm.
stick around because this deep dive is for you.
It's interesting because while speak anxiety is such a common experience, particularly for language learners, it's often misunderstood.
I think so.
It's not a personal flaw or anything.
Right.
It's just a natural response to a challenging situation.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
It's like our brains are wired to protect us from potential threats.
For sure.
And sometimes putting ourselves out there in a new language can feel pretty threatening.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And by understanding why that speaking anxiety happens,
Okay.
we can start to dismantle those mental barriers
Yeah.
and create a more supportive inner dialogue.
So instead of berating ourselves
Right.
for feeling nervous, we can kind of acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it, yeah,
Yeah.
and then start to work with it.
Work with it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think one of the most effective ways to do that
Yeah.
is to shift our focus from trying to achieve perfection to simply communicating effectively.
Okay.
It's just about getting your message across and connecting with other people,
Yeah.
even if it's not grammatically perfect.
I think that's where the idea of starting small comes in.
Yes.
Instead of jumping into these complex conversations right away,
Yeah.
we can break it down into smaller steps.
Exactly.
More manageable steps.
Think about it this way. When you're learning a new skill, like a physical skill, like playing an instrument or playing a sport, you don't expect to be a virtuoso overnight.
No.
Right? You start with the basics.
Right.
And you gradually increase the complexity over time.
Yep.
Language learning is the same.
Okay, so let's say I'm trying to get more comfortable with everyday conversations.
Yeah.
What might those baby steps look like?
Well, you could start by practicing simple greetings and introductions with a language partner.
Yeah.
Or even by yourself.
Huh.
Just focus on getting comfortable with those foundational phrases.
Yeah.
And then you can gradually build from there.
Okay.
You could even use language learning apps to practice common scenarios like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like building a solid foundation.
Yes.
Brick by brick.
Exactly. And as you start to gain more confidence with those smaller interactions, then you can gradually increase the complexity and the length of the conversations.
Now, speaking of support,
I've
heard a lot about the importance of finding a tribe or a community when you're learning a language.
Right.
How does that play into overcoming the speaking anxiety?
Finding your tribe can be such a game changer, especially when it comes to speaking practice.
Okay.
It's about finding people who are on a similar journey as you, people who understand the challenges and can offer encouragement and support.
For sure.
This could be a language exchange partner, a local meetup group, or even an online forum.
So it's not just about practicing the language.
Right.
It's about practicing in a safe environment.
A safe and supportive environment.
Where it's okay to make mistakes.
Exactly. Having that supportive community takes the pressure off. And it lets you focus on learning and growing.
Yeah.
And the more you practice in a safe and encouraging environment, the more confident you'll become in those real-world situations.
I know for me, having a language partner who was also learning English really helped me to relax.
That's great.
And just enjoy the conversations, even if we were both stumbling over words sometimes.
It's those shared experiences and that sense of camaraderie that makes all the difference.
Totally.
It reminds you that you're not alone on this journey and that everyone makes mistakes along the way.
For sure.
And speaking of mistakes,
Okay.
let's talk about how we can reframe our thinking around them.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us get caught up in the fear.
Oh, yeah, the fear of making mistakes.
Of making mistakes, especially in a new language.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's so true. But what if we can change our perspective and view those mistakes as valuable learning opportunities?
Instead of seeing them as setbacks,
Yeah.
we see them as stepping stones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it every time you make a mistake. You're actually identifying an area where you can grow and improve.
So it's feedback.
It's feedback.
Yeah.
It's like your brain is giving you feedback, saying, hey, let's work on this a little bit more.
So it's about embracing those oops moments.
The oops moments.
And using them to, like, refine our skills.
Exactly. And the more we do that, the less intimidating those mistakes become.
So we've talked about starting small, finding a supportive community, and reframing mistakes.
Right.
It sounds like we're building a pretty solid foundation for confident speaking.
Absolutely.
But what about those moments right before a conversation?
Yes.
When those nerves really start to kick in?
Yeah. Yes, the pre-conversation jitters.
Right.
We all experience them from time to time. But you know, the good news is that there's some simple techniques that we can use to manage those nerves.
I'm all ears because I know I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
Who gets those butterflies in my stomach before a big presentation or even just a casual chat in a new language.
One technique that can be really helpful is mindful breathing.
Okay.
When we get anxious, our breathing tends to become shallow and rapid.
Okay.
And that actually amplifies the feelings of stress.
It's like our bodies are going into fight or flight mode.
Yes.
Even if the threat is just a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by consciously slowing down and deepening our breath, we can signal to our bodies that it's safe to relax and engage.
Do you have a specific breathing exercise you recommend?
Absolutely. A simple one is called box breathing.
Okay.
It involves inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding again for 4.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
It's amazing how such a simple technique can have such a calming effect.
It really is, and it's something you can practice anytime, anywhere.
Right.
In the elevator, on your way to a meeting, in your car before a social event.
Yep.
Even while you're waiting in line at the grocery store.
It's like having a portable stress buster.
Exactly.
In your back pocket.
Now, another technique that can be helpful in those pre-conversation moments is to shift your focus from yourself to the other person.
Instead of worrying about what I'm going to say or how I'm going to sound, I should focus on being present.
Being present, yes.
And listening to the other person.
Yes. When we shift our attention outward, it takes the pressure off of us.
Yeah.
And it allows us to connect with the other person on a more genuine level.
That's such a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in our own heads.
Yeah.
But communication is really about connection, right?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And by being present and engaged in the conversation, you'll naturally feel more relaxed and confident.
Now, earlier we talked about the importance of preparation.
Yeah.
How can we prepare for conversations in a way that reduces anxiety?
That's a great question.
Instead of adding to it.
It's important to find a balance between preparation and over-preparation.
Okay.
We don't want to get stuck in that perfection trap.
So it's not about memorizing scripts or trying to anticipate every possible scenario.
Exactly. Instead, think about having a mental toolbox of useful phrases and conversation starters.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could even brainstorm a few topics that you'd like to talk about.
Okay. So it's like having a mental cheat sheet.
Exactly.
That you can refer to if I need a little boost.
And the more you practice, the less you'll need to rely on that cheat sheet. Because those phrases and conversation patterns will become more natural.
Right. More automatic.
Now, with all this talk about practice, I'm curious about the role of technology in overcoming speaking anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Technology can be such a valuable tool.
It really can be.
Language learning apps, online tutors, even voice recognition software.
Right.
They can all provide personalized practice and feedback.
And that feedback can be so empowering.
It's like having a language coach in your pocket.
Exactly. And one of the great things about language learning apps is that they offer a safe space to practice. You can experiment with different phrases, try out different accents, and make mistakes without feeling self-conscious.
And as we discussed earlier, those mistakes are actually valuable learning opportunities.
Precisely. And many language learning apps also incorporate gamification and interactive exercises, which can make the learning process more engaging and fun.
I know. For me, having those little rewards and challenges keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
Coming back for more.
It's all about finding what works for you and making the learning process enjoyable.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I wanted to touch on something that's often overlooked.
Yeah.
But it plays a really important role in our well-being. And that's self-care. It's easy to get, so focused on learning the language.
Right.
That we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Both physically and mentally.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Self-care is so essential for our well-being.
Yeah.
And that includes our confidence and our ability to communicate.
Okay.
Think about it. When we're feeling stressed or exhausted or overwhelmed, it's much harder to think clearly, let alone speak confidently in another language.
It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach and no sleep.
Right.
You're just not going to perform at your best.
Exactly. So what does self-care look like in the context of language learning
Right.
and overcoming speaking anxiety?
Okay.
Well, it can be as simple as getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, and making time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation.
So it's not just about hitting the books and practicing grammar rules.
It's about taking care of our whole selves.
Yeah, our mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly. And there are specific self-care practices that can be helpful for managing anxiety.
Okay, like what?
Mindfulness meditation, for example. Right.
It's been shown to reduce stress and improve focus, which can have a really positive impact on our speaking confidence.
I've dabbled in meditation myself, and I found it to be really helpful, just in calming those racing thoughts and bringing a sense of peace and clarity.
It's a wonderful tool to have. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing each day can make a world of difference.
Really?
And don't underestimate the power of movement.
Oh, okay.
Physical activity, whether it's a brisk walk, a yoga class, or a dance session, can help release pent-up energy and tension, leaving you feeling more relaxed and grounded.
It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
Exactly. And remember, self-care is not selfish. It's about investing in yourself.
Right.
So you can show up as your best self in all areas of your life, including those conversations that might feel a little daunting. Well said. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into conquering speaking anxiety, I'd love to leave our listeners with a few key takeaways and a challenge.
Sounds great.
First and foremost, speaking anxiety is common.
Yes.
And it's something you can absolutely overcome.
You can.
It's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about communicating effectively and connecting with others.
And remember all those fantastic strategies that we've discussed.
Right.
Starting small. Finding your tribe. Preparing without over-preparing. Practicing relaxation techniques. Reframing mistakes as learning opportunities. Embracing imperfection. Using technology to your advantage. And prioritizing self-care.
It's like we've assembled a toolkit.
A toolkit.
For confident speaking.
Exactly.
And now for the challenge. I want you to think about one small step you can take today. To put one of these strategies into practice.
Maybe it's downloading a language learning app. Reaching out to a potential language partner. Or just committing to 5 minutes of mindful breathing before your next conversation.
Whatever it is, make that commitment to yourself.
Absolutely.
And take that first step.
You might be surprised at how empowering it feels.
You're not alone on this journey.
No, you're not.
We're all in this together.
We are.
Cheering each other on.
Keep practicing. Keep learning and keep believing in yourself and the power of your voice.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into conquering speaking anxiety.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep shining.